Welcome back to Vickie's Country Home. Last year, the garden was a complete bust for a number of reasons. And it's the middle of February. For my zone, it's really, really early because our last frost date is like almost the end of May. So even thinking about planting anything, even inside, is kind of crazy. But what I'm going to be doing today, for me, is an experiment because I have started my plants inside. I have tried in the greenhouse different things, but I'm going to try what's called winter sowing. And it can be done a number of different ways. You can use milk cartons. I'm gonna try, you can even use Ziploc bags, but none of those are gonna hold up to my wind. We get insane winds and that just blow them away, and that would tend to just kill all the plants. So what I'm gonna try is I'm gonna use clear plastic tubs that have clear plastic lids. These would still blow away, but they're going to be easier to anchor. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. And I'm going to try a couple different things and see what works best, because I want to have a good garden this year. I think things are already more expensive. I'm not liking some of the things that I'm hearing out there. So I want to have my own vegetables and herbs that I know how they were planted, and I'll feel safe giving that to my family. Not to mention, some potting soil and seeds are way less expensive than what I'm spending already at the grocery store. So today I'm going to be making my winter sowing tubs, and you'll see how this gets started, and hopefully it's going to be a wonderful garden year. Now I'm doing this outside, and it's really calm today, which I'm so thankful, because we have had crazy winds so much of the time. So I'm going to be using a soldering iron. But I've read that you can use hot glue guns. I tried and they didn't really work. Maybe, I don't know, but it didn't work for me. So I got out Brian's soldering iron. So basically I'm going to be putting holes in the bottom of this tub. Now you could try a drill, but from what I understand, most of the people that have tried that, it caused it to crack a lot. I don't want it cracking. So this thing just works perfect. But I'm doing it outside because this is probably going to have a strong odor from the melting plastic. But you need to have good drainage. And I'm going to put quite a few. You could make bigger holes, but I think I want these smaller holes. I'll do more of them to make sure I get good drainage. And like anything, be cautious. I'm wearing gloves with leather palms. You just don't want to burn yourself or anything else. All right, so I hope you can see I put quite a few holes all across the bottom because I want there to be good drainage, even though they're small. So you need the good drainage, but what you also need to do is put holes in the top. And the reason being, you're going to close this up and seal it so that it has kind of a protected little environment. But you also want it to get water. And we're planting very early. It can be sitting out in snow. It can have freezing nights. But you need to make sure that you have a way for the water to get in without risking your little seedlings. So I'm going to put holes in the top too. And I will tell you, there is definitely an odor coming from this. And there's the lid. So, holes on top and bottom. That's step number one. Now there's different ways of doing the winter sowing in the tubs. I'm going to be doing 2 of them because I'm going to do different things. One of them is I want to do one with just greens. And so for that one, I'm just going to put the potting soil directly into the tub. You need to have at least 3 inches in the bottom of the tub, and then you need to have enough room above that for your seedlings to grow. So I bought a good natural organic potting mix, potting soil, but they assured me it's light enough. You don't want seed starting mix though, because from what I understand, the seed starting mix is just too light and it won't hold on to enough moisture. If you have larger holes, you probably want to put something on the bottom to keep the soil from going out, but because of this small holes, that should not be a problem like what I'm doing. But again, you want 3 inches in the bottom of this tub. It could be more, but you need at least 3. Again, I'm so thankful. It's beautiful, not windy day, fairly warm. I guess it helps if I aim the camera so you can see what you're looking at. I'm going to go with a little bit more. Okay, I have over 3 inches of the soil in the bottom of this tote. This one is going to be for my greens, and I'm just going to scatter the seeds all over the top. The next one, I'm going to be using these cups that I used 2 years ago. I washed them out. Most of them have labels of what was in them. I may relabel if I use something different in them. But these will be for individual seedlings that will be transplanted into the garden. Apparently my camera did not turn on. So what I have done is I scattered my seeds just all over, mixed together. I did not put them in any certain order because these are just mixed greens. So I have this lettuce, and I'm not even going to attempt to say it, Yedikule. Not sure how to say it. I have this orach, and this is mixed colors. This is like a spinach substitute. Then I have some spinach in there and some of this romaine lettuce. And I have just mixed them all over. I put just a tiny bit more potting soil on top, not much because these don't get buried deep. I scattered everything everywhere. They'll be all mixed together. And then I just took a spray bottle and sprayed it well. I want it moist, especially on the top where I have all the seeds. Now I'm going to put the lid on with all the holes. And you want it on there well, and you want it sealed. Now you could even put tape around it. You could put plastic bags or something around the inside to make more of a seal. I'm going to see how this does. Now once I get it into place, I'm going to water it through the lid. The water will go through the holes, drip down, and then drain out any excess will drain out the bottom. But I don't want to do that here because it's going to be too heavy to move. And the idea with winter sowing is these are sort of like a little greenhouse. But some seeds need cold to be able to germinate for any length of time. Other seeds don't, but with winter sowing, your seeds are not going to come up until it's warm enough for them. So this gives you a head start, and your seedlings will be hardened off because they're already used to being out in the cold. So I have this one done. I'm going to start on my next one, and I'll bring you back once I've got that one ready to go. Now for this second tub, I'm just setting it on top of the one I just finished because it'll work great. And like I said, I have these cups that I used year before last, and they all have holes in the bottom. So I'm just going to put the potting mix in these, and I'm going to totally fill the bottom of this. And these I had, well, that one didn't. Most of them were what I planted last time. So I'll just mark that out with a super permanent ink Sharpie, because this is going to be cold, it's going to be wet, dirt. So you want something that's not going to wash off easily. So once I'm ready to start planting, I will write on each cup what's in it and fill the bottom of this tub. Now for this, I'm going to use another scoop. That other one's just too big for this type of a job. But again, you want 3 inches of the soil in each cup. So I'm just going to finish filling all my little red cups, and we'll come back to see how they're planted. So I finished filling all my little cups, and I got 28 or 29 in here. I have not planted them yet. These are probably going to be cooler weather crops like broccoli and cabbage and things like that. So they will start coming up a little bit earlier. So I'm going to be planting those, marking what they are on the cups, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to spray them down with the water bottle, move this out to the garden, and put water in it from through the lid, same as the other one. Now this one is not going to be as heavy, so again, I'm going to have to brace them somehow to keep them from being blown away at our next windstorm, which happen frequently. So I'm going to be getting busy planting. And one thing I think you need to be aware of, I would put as many cups as here as you can. And I could maybe squeeze in another 1 or 2 if I want, and I may try and do that because they're much smaller containers. They're going to be more susceptible to cold, which again is okay, but I want to put as many in here as possible. All right, I have this tub planted. I have orange and red chard. I've got red Russian kale, several kinds of cabbage, broccoli, and I may be forgetting something else in there, but mostly the cooler weather crops. And again, I'm just gonna mist them. I don't want to water heavily because I don't want to disturb the seeds. But you want to give them a good misting. And again, then I will move this out there, put it in place, and water through the lid. Now, I'm not going to do it today because it's getting later in the day, but I am going to be planting some of these things in the greenhouse, and I'll see how they compare. So it's kind of an experiment to see what works best. There goes my kitty Smudge. All right, that should do it. I'm gonna put the lid on, make sure it's on well, and then I'm gonna take these out and put them where they will get sunshine and any weather that comes along. So I'm out here at my greenhouse, and I've put the one with the cups in it just outside of it, but I've braced it with cinder blocks, and I'm gonna keep an eye on it and see if that will keep the wind from blowing it away. It's an experiment. And then I'm just going to pour water on the lid. And try and cover the entire lid. We'll do a little more. And then any excess water will drain out the bottom. And then my poor greenhouse is a mess because nothing happened last year. But I decided to put the one with the greens inside it, mostly because I want to start harvesting the greens sooner. The greenhouse is not heated, and it gets pretty cold in here, pretty close to the outside temperature, but it does warm up faster. So my cats are checking out my greenhouse. So again, just pouring the water all over the top so that it will get good and watered. And then we'll keep an eye on this. I hope you got some ideas from this. Thank you for watching, and God bless.